Okay, here we are, my friends. Episode 72 on the road, in the waves, and on the other side. I am beyond excited, beyond extremely happy right now. I've had some great guests. We know it, you've seen them, but this one, wow, I am so stoked about what's about to happen. My friends, I have the creator of Fyre Fest, the one that became the documentaries, the one that was the CoffeeZilla, whoa, all of it. I have him here today. Man, it's going to be great. I'm going to bring him on stage right now. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Billy Mcfarland to the stage, creator of Fyre Fest. Hey, Billy, how we doing?
Hey, Paul, that was the most incredible podcast intro I've ever had. So thank you.
Thank you
Great to
so
be here.
much.
Very good start.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Red. So, okay, Billy Mcfarland, you have had a whirlwind adventure. You're 33 now, 32, 33?
Yeah, I feel like I've lived like 5 lifetimes, but only 33.
Okay, so wow, okay, I want to do one thing real quick while we're here. I want to make sure that I'm live on all of the, I know I am, but I want to make sure I'm live on the broadcast here on Facebook more so than anything else, so that anybody who wants to comment, because that's where I have my biggest following, anybody who wants to comment, they can, and I have to just make it a live feed for some reason. StreamYard doesn't do this. It's really stupid. But nonetheless, oh, Billy. Um, so much to ask you about, man. Um, so you just sold the whole thing. You just sold everything that is Fyre Fest. So what's that all about? How do you feel? How are you taking it? Do you feel like you missed something now?
Yeah, we just sold the IP for the brand of Fire Festival. Uh, we tried to make that sale as interesting as possible, and we actually put it up for auction on eBay. And certainly at the time, we were the most watched non-charity auction on eBay. So I think we once again like proved what we are good at, which is getting views. And I think the world has changed a lot now, where views are the new economy,
Mhm.
and it's tough to let go of the Fire name, but everything else is staying intact. Our core team is still the same. We didn't sell the company; we just sold the IP and a couple other assets. So the company still exists. We have the same team. We're still operating, building new technology platforms. Building new products with the same company. But yes,
Right.
we did sell the IP, and it's a lot of mixed emotions there. But felt like it was time to part with that and not let the baggage and the weight and the lessons hold back from where we think we can all go personally. So excited to take that next step and to keep building with our group of guys and girls.
100%. 100%. Like, and I know people know this journey of yours, but tell me if I'm wrong. I may be wrong here, but it starts off where you get out of college and you start this card, the metal card. You figured out how to do the back of the card. You were able to put in the inserts, all of the stuff. You started doing these small events that grew into something, to bigger events. You started meeting some famous people. You tried to hire people for events. This is tell me if I'm wrong. But then you say to yourself, hey, I need to make an app that can hire talent, because it's so hard to get into the talent. At least this is what I remember from different things that I've read and heard along the way. And then in my opinion, this is what I think you did, and I could be totally wrong here, Billy. I think the app was the actual design, and Firefest was the marketing for the app. I could be wrong when I say that, but that's what I felt when you made it. Tell me if I'm wrong on that.
Yeah, totally correct. And there were certainly a lot of mistakes made with the Fire Festival and the app and how I went about that. I think what was a little overlooked when people retell the story was just how long the process was to get to that point where we announced Fire and Fire Festival. I didn't just like wake up one day and say, "Hey, I'm going to promote this beautiful island." It was many years of working. I started my first venture-backed company when I was 19. Before the Magnesis card company, it was called Spling. That was an enterprise software company. Had that for years, had Magnesis for years. So really was a long run of running businesses and building businesses and having wins and losses along the way that kind of led to that crescendo of what that Fire Festival moment was.
So the next thing is like, so are you doing something like that again? Are you going to try and grab an app that can hire? Because I don't see you personally as the guy who is out there trying to scheme people out. You're really, every single step you've made, I've seen it. I've watched, even with the shirts that you printed when you were trying to sell the shirts during the crescendo of Fyre 2. All of the stuff that you do, I see it from even when you're on your talks on your IG. You're really coming from this like real place of like, dude, I just trying to just get this thing going, like come for the ride. I promise it'll be good if you just come for the ride. So yeah, I can't do anything else but ask the question of like the resiliency thing. It's constantly there for me. And so I ask, are you going to start kind of like a new app? Because I've heard little things. You've said little things in some comments here.
Yes. Starting, building, launching, whatever the best descriptor is, a new technology product and a new app. After Fyre 1, I think it took me a little bit to get my footing back and tried a bunch of different things and just kept realizing along the way what I was really good at was getting views and getting attention on different products. And the world has changed. When we did the Fyre Festival campaign the first time in 2016, influencer marketing was really taking off, but kind of how brands valued it and how they went about it was a lot different than it was now in 2025. And it took me a little while to figure that out. And I think through the wins and losses and everything that's happened over the past 5 or 6 years, I think we're in a spot now where I understand it. I know what I'm good at. I know what I suck at, and trying to double down and focus on what I think I can do.
Right. So I'll ask. I'm trying to get a direct answer from you on this app thing. But are you trying to build another app that will hire artists?
Because no, it's less to do with talent booking and more to do with helping brands get views and get media and get attention.
Ooh, I love that.
We need a marketplace concept, but based around views rather than based around booking talent. So
right.
Yeah.
Have you seen this guy that was the corn head? He was eating Cheetos and
no, I didn't see it.
Yeah, so he's been going like super viral, creating these really silly events, and like I think one of them was a Timothy Chalamet contest, and like Timothy Chalamet shows up. So I mean, like, are you gonna maybe go in that direction, try to do viral marketing in that way? Or are you thinking of like using AI and like moving into the whole other direction with things? I'm just asking.
Yeah, I don't want to reveal too much until we announce it, but I think we really believe that views are currency, and just trying to build trying to productize views, I guess, and offer this different people. So I have an idea and kind of have a team that we've been building. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Cool. I can't wait, man. That sounds fun. That sounds good.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so let's because I really want this to be about this more than anything else. When you were, I ask this a lot in my podcast. When you were younger, what was the thing that got you to drive you to start wanting to do the events? Like, what was it that got you? Like, was
Interesting.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I dropped out of college after my freshman year and moved to New York and had a tech startup. Most of my friends were, sophomores in college, like all the kids that I grew up with. And I was living in New York, had a venture-backed business. And at this point, I was selling software to a lot of like record labels and music artists. And I kept finding myself in like these different rooms and these different meetings, these different experiences that, one, I didn't know existed, 12 months prior. And two, when I would tell my friends, they really like couldn't understand or believe like what was happening. So I think that kind of got me really excited to share all the things that I was like finding in the world. And like, I was like a child, right, in a new sandbox and finding all these new people and experiences and things and ideas. And I really want to share that with everybody that I could. And ultimately, like, that tried to happen again with the Fyre Festival, when I tried to share what I thought was this beautiful, perfect, like, island paradise with as many people as possible. But I think this kind of came from this like innate desire to want to share with everybody else what I thought was cool. And some people thought it was cool. A lot of them didn't think it was cool, but that was kind of the genesis of these events, was just trying to kind of share what I was finding with people.
Yeah, man, but I mean, forego the Fyre. Let's not even talk about it ever again, because I really don't need to. What I want to talk about are the things that did go well. the events that did go where you had, 100 people show up and they all had a blast and they all wrote about it. And those are the wins that nobody knows about that I think that need to be spoken about, because I think
Mhm.
those were the wins in the end that were the small pieces that kept you moving, saying, oh, wait, we can make this grow. Oh, and this
Sure.
is what I meant by when I said the trajectory of what happened. I feel like you made the app, you were connected to people, you were able to start hiring these cool artists, and you were like, yo, we can do this as a big event. I've got
Mhm.
names. I can make a thing out of this. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
and then that's what happened. I that's what I'm saying. Like, there's all these other wins that happen along the way. I mean, there were events where you flew people to an island. There were events where you had helicopter rides and stuff, and like all these cool events and like private parties and meet and greets and all this stuff that you were doing. So there are, a lot of people don't know this about you, Billy. In my opinion, at least, I don't think people go
Yeah.
that deep into the rabbit hole of Billy Mcfarland like I have, right? I think most people are just like, oh, he's the guy who totally screwed over people, and there's a picture of cheese sandwiches with salad.
Exactly.
That's all they have in their head. So I,
Yeah, I think that it's just like such a better story for the media to be like, oh, this random 24-year-old flew all these people to an island and then like things didn't work out. I think like the disservice that that's doing is ignoring everything that it took to get there. And yes, there were a lot of mistakes that it took to get there, but it was years of mistakes and years of small wins that allowed for that moment to happen. And I think that's the biggest like overlooking factor statement that you just can't roll out of bed and be like, oh, let's make the Fyre Festival campaign. It doesn't quite
Right.
work
No, of
that.
course not. No, nobody could do. I mean, like, especially with the names that you had and the
Yeah,
models that were there and the this and the that, you had to be at a certain level in life. There's no way to do it. Like, there's just no way. I mean, you have to have the connections for the people, for the thing, for them to even be like, okay, yeah, I'm totally down to put something on my Instagram from guy I don't know.
yeah,
It's unless you have stupid amounts of money, which at the time it sounded like you had stupid amounts of money and you were throwing money at some people. Supposedly, I don't know, some
yeah.
posts.
No, we were certainly spending, but it was once again it was years, right? Like Magnesis had done probably 2 dozen concerts that went well. We did a lot of different like moments and campaigns with their brands. Like we found really cool ways to bring people together through these smaller experiences. We did island trips where we basically rented out these small hotels and did pop-ups for our customers for almost 3 years in the Fyre location before Fyre was even a thing. So like it was not like an idea one day and execution the next day. It was like years and years of starting with my idiot childhood buddies and like growing up to large talent and everything that Fyre ended up being.
So I guess my next question is like, um, I have two questions. They're two different questions. The people who own Fyre now, right? That name and everything. Are they planning on doing something with it? Do you know? And are you having any involvement in it at all, or you're just totally done with the name and everything involved and everything?
That's up to them. So I can't. I'm not allowed to share until they share their own plans.
Okay,
Yeah, I think the really important. Like we didn't sell the company. We just sold some of the assets, including the like the name Fyre, right? So we're still building under our same brand. We're still going to be doing these hotel events and other small events, but really working the tech side of things. So yeah,
great.
we'll try to find fun ways to incorporate what they're doing into our plans as well.
Okay. So basically, kind of regroup. Let's get back to what we were really good at one point, and let's regroup. We did this well. We've done a bunch of events, 2,000 plus, as you said, that went
Sure.
very well. We've gone to the island a bunch of times. It went well. Let's just go back to doing that and doing these niche events, super small, maybe even more expensive because it's so niche and it's so tight, and almost magnesium days again, kind of thing. And
Yeah. So it all
maybe
kind of
that,
starts with the tech product, but we'll start with that and take our time but yeah, build fast and release it when it's ready.
yeah, right. What's the motto? Build fast, break yeah, break often, or something like that.
I think I'm good at both for better or worse.
You, Billy, you are so good, dude. Okay, so, man, because I already kind of asked this question, so I'll lead into this next one, which is, where does this thing come from? were you a lonely, nerdy kid? And I ask this in the most nicest way. I'm not trying to be mean. Because I'm a super lonely, nerdy human being in
Yeah.
general, and I just feel like when I speak to you, um, there's like a beautiful mind is the best way to explain it. Sort of kind of thing that's going on.
Thank you. Yeah.
No. It's just who you are. You know, but and I just immediately I could see it, like a neurodivergence almost kind of a thing, and not to be disrespectful or anything like that, because I'm super out there. So I ask that because that leads to wanting to be around people. That leads to wanting to have this connection with others that you might have not had when you were younger. And so I ask that, is that what happened on some level?
I guess surprisingly, not really. Certainly like loved computers, loved the internet, loved, learning to program when I was young, and those were not interests that were shared with my friends. But I was definitely not a loner. I think people think that I was the computer guy, but I also had non-computer hobbies and activities when I was younger too.
As he says. So
Yeah.
that's, yeah, I almost want to like find out what it's like to party with Billy, because every video I've ever seen of you, every conversation that I've had or that I've seen other people have with you, it's always them like rah, 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 and it's like, bro, I just want to hang with the guy and like let's get a beer, smoke a joint on the beach, enjoy the moment, like it's all good. You know what I mean?
Unfortunately, not the part, not as crazy as some people like to report, but getting
Dude,
old.
you're getting old, man. I went to Mexico and got my teeth done, came back with a bacterial infection. I'm falling apart at the seams.
Oh, what, did you go to Mexico City or where'd you go?
No, I went to like the border. So like
Oh,
5 hours
geez.
from Houston. Yeah. It was good, dude. The guy had really good teeth too. So
Did they mess it up or was it their fault or?
no, it was my fault. I went to like an idiot. I went to a restaurant and I had Coke with ice. And so it was the ice. It had to have
Oh
been.
shit.
There was nothing else. I didn't
So
need
the
to eat
dentists
something.
were fine. Crazy.
No, the dentist was amazing though. Let me tell you, like he asked me like every couple seconds if it was hurting and like, am I doing all right? And I was like, dude, you're amazing, bro. Keep going.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot about the Mexico like dentist services. So yeah, I was curious.
It's a huge thing. That and doing a lot of the like female type surgeries of like Botox and all of that
Yeah.
kind of thing is a big thing now. Yeah.
The super
Here's
teeth.
a,
Yeah.
here's a question for you, Billy, since we're kind of just roaming. How deep into the AI game are you now? Are you starting to like really go in and like play with all the LLMs and all the apps and products, or
Of course, far from I think cutting edge with it. Super interested how AI is affecting talent and Hollywood talent, whether it's an actor, a musician, a comedian. Um, I think that's going to be really, really interesting when AI can create art, but could be working 24/7 or be in 10 places at once. How that's going to upend and affect more traditional talent. So I think that's kind of an area I'm, actively studying.
yeah, have you heard about what Elon Musk said about that? He's going to bring back Vine, but have all of the people that are Vine members be all AI characters.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, AI talent is a big thing, and I think the question is, do current well-known like household names license their name and likeness to AI, and does that AI win, or does total AI talent like new characters, new stories that aren't based on reality win? So I think that's
Yeah,
going to be an interesting competition.
no, I totally agree. I have a character that I made. I don't know if you've seen her before. I'll share her with you. Let's see if I can find her. Here we go. So her name is Lorena Bear,
Okay.
and she's a fully AI character that I made. She even has music videos, a fan view, and she just became the model for a sex style website, like for a hand. It's called the Handy, but like it's this new app. It's really crazy. And so like she became the it's called sensual.net. Here, I'll show it to you. It's so crazy. This is where we are, by the way, Billy. Just to give you what I think is happening in the world. this is what's happening. It's this right here. All right, we'll opt into updates, whatever. But so you can literally talk to any one of these girls and have full-on NSFW style conversations with them. And it connects to this toy called a handy device. And you can then literally interact. Isn't that crazy?
That's
though?
crazy. I don't get it.
It's
I
like
guess I'm
full on,
behind
dude.
the times.
It's full on the world.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it.
No, I mean, look, I mean, there's also look in Japan. There's been a very famous VR like character. She's actually gone on stage and does shows for 30,000 people. There's nobody on stage. It's a little avatar that runs
Yeah,
around,
yeah.
and there's men they're freaking out over this character. So I mean, like we're in
Yes,
this
I think that's interesting.
this
Like,
other world.
what's going to resonate more, like the total VR character, or a real talent that's augmented by AI? And I'm not sure. Maybe the total virtual characters win. I guess it's easier, right? Just easier to
I think
manage and operate and work someone who's not constrained by like the humanity, right? So interesting.
I don't know, man. To tell you the truth, I think it's going to be a like because I've written a bunch of books on this whole subject, but I think that what's really going to happen is going to be a big divide, and then
Hmm.
those who are the ones that did like really old school human only kind of ideas, like for instance, the ink that they make in Japan where they squish it with their feet and it takes like
Yeah.
100 years for you to be able to even use the ink, like stuff like that, full on artisan artisanal leather making, all those things that are like handmade. Granted, a robot will make it in 5.2 seconds, but there's going to be those who only specifically want the handmade, I don't want anything to do with AI kind of art. And that's going to be more expensive and that's going to be more rare. And I think
Sure.
that that's going to have much more value in the future than I just go up to my computer and type in, I want to go to Wizard of Oz, whatever, and I want to be the Scarecrow. And I get to play the
Yeah.
Scarecrow in this world, put
Mhm.
on my headset, whoop,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, it's definitely going to democratize a lot of experience, right? Like, and make a virtual experience that's accessible to everybody, which is interesting. But yeah, I think probably more interested in the real engagement, though.
I have a feeling that it's going to be because of the way things are happening right now with people and how much we are separating from ourselves and how much we are trying to, like I made a joke with my friend the other day that soon we're going to have like the ability to pay a little extra money to have an AR gift card show up to somebody,
Yeah,
and like it could be anything. So like at one point or another, you're just gonna have your door shut off because you just don't want those things popping in. It could be anything. Like anybody could just be saying hello, like for your birthday. Like old school people used to come to your door and they would bring you flowers and sing a
sure,
song.
sure.
Just imagine that, but in the future, you
Yeah,
know. And then at one point or another, you're just gonna be like, I'm done, and you just cut off everybody, and you start living in a resounding chamber of your own thoughts, a resounding chamber of what you want, how you want it, how you like every aspect of it. Like there was a great film. It was called Sight. It was made about 13 years ago by a guy named Ray. He's amazing digital guy with the CG brothers. And they made a feature-length film of it. Phenomenal. But the idea was that you'll have these AR kind of contact lenses,
hmm,
and like you'll overlay your life with what you want. So like I want to live in Candyland. So like anything that's up and down looks like a Candyland, and everything else it looks like snow, and whatever I want in my head, that's what comes out. And
yeah.
all I have to do is
I
just
think it's
text it.
most likely that people try to escape into a full-on metaverse, right? To be a video game character and live a life that's unattainable, or to live a life that's easier earned, through a virtual world than it is to the real world. So I think that's
That was it
certainly
right
going to
there.
happen.
That was
Right,
it.
like
That
that's a
was
shortcut, right? It's like people want the shortcut, and if they can look great and have riches and have everything they desire in the real life, but have it by paying $2 in the virtual world and not having to actually work for it. I think that's going to happen.
Yeah, and I think that that's where the big another big gap is going to happen, which is the creator economy and the consumer economy. Because there's going to be so many people who fall into that consumer economy, and then you're going to have that like UBI, that universal basic income, where these people are just kind of eating and these people are creating. And then you have
Agree.
different lifestyle completely, you know.
Agree.
Josh Harris talks about this a lot. I don't know if you know who he is.
I don't know him, but yeah, I know who he is. Yeah.
Okay, so Josh and I are good friends. Another same thing as you. I bothered him for like 2 years just to
And he came
have a
on.
conversation. Yeah, that's what I did with you. And anybody who wants to know, I'll show them. I'll show every single comment I've ever made. I have no issue with it. That's one of my things.
Appreciate the no quit mentality. So
listen, it's the only way.
yeah.
It's the one thing my dad taught me is that one. And also, I think that at first you might have said, okay, wait, crazy guy. But after time, you kind of realized, okay, hey, this guy's trying. He's doing what he can to kind of be somebody in my life. And we ended up having the conversation, which is in the end, all I wanted, right? Because for me, I have this feeling if Michelangelo was alive, no offense, not that I'm putting you up there, but if Michelangelo was alive, or Picasso, or Andy Warhol, which could easily be an Andy Warhol of our time, right? I would want to have the conversation with him. Yeah. I would want to know, like, hey, how's it going, man? I know that, whatever. Do you have a couple hours? Or whatever amount of time to chat and like talk about life and like what your thoughts are, and like maybe that will give a different perspective on who you are. And that's what this is about. That's what all of my episodes have been about,
Yeah, I appreciate that, sir. Really like it.
So where are you? Are you in New York right now?
I'm in New York, yeah.
So here's another weird question for you. Do you have your own place that you paid for a long time ago and you're able to just like survive off of that? Like
no, I rent an apartment. I do not own in New York, unfortunately. Yeah, I rent.
Well, that's gotta be super expensive, Billy. You gotta be like,
yeah, New York is New York, yeah. So it is what it is.
Wow. So why not take off from New York and go to like Colombia or Thailand and live like a god for the same amount of money that you're spending now, or even a quarter of it?
I love New York. I think the really cool part, and it's maybe the only city in the world where if you are doing something at the and I'm nowhere near this, but if you're at the top of any industry, like New York is the one place where you have to go to on a semi-regular basis. So I feel like that energy rubs off, and every world has representation, of the highest point there, and that attracts people of all different kind of like ranks and levels. So yeah, I think it's like a really cool vibe to have so many different worlds kind of colliding, and yeah, and that's where things happen. So I think it's hard to replicate that.
Yeah, there's no place like New York. It just isn't. It's like go to Washington Square, walk down the street, go to Mamoon's, get yourself a falafel.
It's a great.
There's just nothing. There's just nothing like. I have this tour that I do with people that starts, at the museum, like 84th on the park, and like I take them all the way down to 59, take them across to Apple, all the way straight through, and then take them down, and then go to Times Square, like do the whole entire run, and it takes like 5 hours of walking, and they're completely exhausted by the end of the thing. But you're like, yeah, you saw New York, right?
Where are you based?
Houston, Texas.
Oh, you're in Houston,
but I've been a vagabond weirdo like my entire life, Billy. I like 17. I graduated high school early, 3.8 GPA, went to the Air Force, got kicked out. Then a friend of mine, who I was in Civil Air Patrol with, he decides that he wants to steal his dad's car. And we stole his dad's 93 brand new Camaro and drove it from Houston to LA. We stayed in the car for like a month and a half, living in the car. And we ended up being like in a movie, like extras in a movie. And we ended up like just crazy adventure that you have like when you're 17, 19 years old, it's total
Wow.
movie, by the way. Total movie. Like just the situations we got put into, the things that happened. We went to Universal Studios, like all this
Super cool.
crazy
Yeah.
stuff.
Good,
We ended up
good
being
experience.
roadies for two different bands. One of them was called Parade of Losers, which ended up getting signed and everything. And then another band was called YMI. And the
Okay.
drummer, catch this. This is a weird story. The drummer was one of the 9 survivors from Waco, Texas. His name was
Oh, wow.
David. And it was him and his mom that jumped out of the window.
Wow. Wow. Insane.
Just like one of the random, and we met them when we went to a Covenant House to get lunch, because Covenant House gives you like free stuff when you're a kid if you're homeless.
Okay.
And behind the Covenant House, in some kind of like warehouse loft, we hear a band. We just go up there to go hang out with them. And then they were like, "Yeah, you guys can be our roadies." We're like, "Cool, man."
Yeah. Wow.
We went to all the cool like bars, the Viper, the like
How old were
Whiskey
you?
Go Go. What's that?
How old were you?
I was like 17. My friend was
Oh,
like
wow. You're a kid. Yeah.
17 or 18. Yeah, it was great. It's great. And then yeah, so that started when I was like 17, 18. And I don't know, from there I went to Miami, was in a band for 4 years, got signed to Universal, got signed to Sony, then that whole thing fell
Nice.
apart. Then I went to was on VH1. I was on a TV show called In Search of the Partridge Family.
Okay. I don't know it. Yeah. Before
But,
my time.
yeah, exactly. It's before mine, dude. Come on. I don't even know if I don't even know if that show was out when I was a kid. Probably was. Maybe no, probably right before I was. I don't know. Come on, get happy.
Oh,
So
got it.
okay. All right. Okay, Billy. So like, okay, yeah. What is it? What keeps you going? What throughout all of it? Like, because I know, like, when you were in jail at one point, didn't you do uh uh they put you in solitary at something like that at one
Yeah,
point?
I did 10 months in solitary. So yeah, pretty long. It sounds bad when I say it.
Wow. Because I've done
Yeah.
5 days, like a hold,
Okay.
like nothing.
Yeah.
And like,
That's rough.
and I was like, I was taking meds at the time. So I told them that. Bad thing to tell the police that you're on meds,
Yeah.
because then they just put you in a padded room with people screaming and throwing crap everywhere. It's crazy.
God.
So don't do that. Uh, be happy
Crazy.
without your meds for a day or two, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Um, so, so yeah, 10 months was
Yeah.
like,
Long time.
and did you get into a fight? What happened for that to happen?
Two things. One time I broke the rules and was, served 3 months because of that. The next time I did a podcast interview, and I think what made it the weirdest mental experience was the podcast didn't break the rules, but I got 7 months for that. So the thing I actually did wrong, I got 3 months for. When I didn't really do anything wrong, I got 7 months, and it kind of, was a little bit of a mind fuck.
Yeah, right. Like you get fucked for the thing you didn't do, but the thing
Yeah,
you didn't do. Oh my goodness.
exactly. It's just like, life works like that sometimes.
Does it ever? Does
Yeah.
it ever? Oh man. Okay, so give me give me something, Billy. What's the next? I know you've said it already, and I don't want you don't need to tell me per se, but like what's the next gambit in your life? What's the next chess move?
Yeah, I think it's making good. And to me, it's a couple of things. Like one is the people who I believe I owe, and this could be money, but it could be trust. It could be friendship. It could be something else from the first fire, but 8 years ago, 9 years ago now at this point. Uh, I think the next is that the people who've believed in me over the past couple of years to work with me, whether it's uh, girlfriends, business associates, partners, whatever, whatever. I think it's kind of like delivering on on what people believe can be done. I think delivering on potential, delivering on aspirations for the future, and I think a lot of it too is delivering on what I believe to be true. That I for a period of time I was a total asshole and really fucked up and did a lot of wrong things trying to make Fyre Festival work, but intentions weren't that. I think the way it went about it was certainly illegal, certainly immoral, but I think kind of childish and stupid. But I think ultimately, like, aim to do right by people around me, and I kind of want to make good on that.
Did I lose you?
No, I'm here.
No, I didn't hear the last
Yeah,
thing you said. Make good on? Is I just make good
yeah,
on?
to make good on that. Yes.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and that's a given. And you've done that. Like I said, I think you've tried to do that every step of the way. You've been very transparent with the fact that whatever money you're making and whatever you're doing, all the money is, or at least a major portion of it, 25, 30%, whatever you said it was, is
Mhm.
going towards, you know. So I had someone ask me this question. You owe somewhere in the range of 20 something $million. Like, how do you pay that back if you never make that money? And like, how
Yeah.
does that,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really caught up in the number. I certainly get. Yeah. No, it's
That was
you
so
can't.
good. He's like, yeah, whatever. It's like, listen, and also people within that big number, there's a lot of people within that number that had a lot of money already and are kind of well known and are kind of famous. Now, granted, there's a lot of other people that were regular, you know, people, kids that were just trying to go to the party and whatever. And a lot of those people are involved, and I guess in the lawsuit, and I guess also some of the people that were on the island that things happened, right? So, but not again. The Yeah. So what happens? You just don't pay it in the end, and you just pay what you can along the way throughout your life, and
So
no matter what, that's like kind of looming
you
over your head.
certainly, yeah, I think you certainly pay, right, and it kind of is as simple as a percentage of whatever the income is. So whether I make $100 or $1 million, I am paying a portion of that on a monthly basis, sometimes more frequent basis, back to those who are owed. I think one of the challenges is, like, while that number certainly encompasses people who are owed, there are a lot of people who weren't included in that who I also believe are owed. Uh, I have
Wow.
some former employees in the Bahamas who I believe are owed. So it's like I make the mandatory ordered payments, if you will, but I'm also doing my best to pay people who aren't covered under that. And doing a little bit. It
Wow.
might be $100 here, $2,000 there, and like just, trying to do it as often as possible and just make as much of a small difference as I can.
So on some level, are you living lower in the like? I don't want to call it standards because it's not like you're living a bad life, but you're not living as hardcore as you were because you're trying to do what you can to do all those payments. Is that kind of the thing?
Yeah, I'm certainly not making as much money as I was, in the prime of my career. So yeah,
Well,
and
yeah,
and and have a lot more liabilities now in terms of things that are owed. So yes, not living, you know, not living a crazy lifestyle.
well, no, and I'm not saying that. I mean, I wasn't saying that you were living a crazy lifestyle before. I don't think maybe
Mm.
anybody who looked at it would say that it was just a person who was living within the industry, in my opinion,
Yeah.
because I saw
Mhm.
because that's what it was when you said, like you said, prior to the card, you were already in the industry, you were already in the boardrooms with the people talking and making the decisions on who's going to be the number one or the 10 or the whatever, and you're there and you're kind of like, how did I get here, right? And then the same situation happened over and over again. It's like a just reoccurring thing that happens in your life, which is like you constantly say to yourself, "How did I get here?"
Yeah, no, for sure.
It's kind of funny, dude. I'm not, no offense, Billy. I love you, dude. It's kind of cool too because, like, here's a question for you: why Pirate Billy?
I don't know.
Listen. You could call yourself whatever you want, dude. But when you say it like that, it's like,
The Pirate just like a pure. It's a marketing agency. So it's like do
oh, is that?
marketing work for. Yeah, that's what it is. It's like it was
I
meant to.
didn't know that.
The genesis was like meant to be kind of like a rogue marketing or like pirate kind of you know boots in the ground marketing is the genesis of the name. I do get a lot of shit for having that as my Instagram username. So maybe I'll change it when I come out with a new platform.
No, listen, you do whatever you want. I
I
didn't
do
know.
get a lot of shit from
I think it's
my
hilarious.
close people. Yeah, they don't like it.
But is Pirate that's the name of the marketing company?
It's the marketing agency. Yeah.
See, I didn't know this. I don't think anybody knows that. That's
Yeah.
kind of
So
cool. So, did you get affected by what movie was this? Oh, come on, famous movie from the guys who made. I'm forgetting it all. Oh, oh, come on, the people who made Quest for the Holy Grail. Have you ever
why?
seen
Yeah.
the Life of Brian?
Yeah, I
Is
mean
that what,
years ago, but what's the tie-in?
oh, there's a whole scene where there's like a corporate takeover and it's pirates.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Oh, you have to totally watch it. Like, go watch it.
Got it. Got it.
I
Got it.
might even bring it up right now just to bring like corporate
That's
pirate
funny.
scene, Life of Brian. Hold on, just so you can see it, because this is like it makes me think that's like in my head. That's like kind of the pirate, Billy idea thing. Makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. You know, when people think pirate, they either think Blackbeard or they think Disney.
Maybe a mix of both.
Ding ding, ding ding, Billy.
Mix
Oh
of
my
both.
god! Listen, I'm not sure how much longer I want to keep you because I know you have to keep going. You got a life to live. Before I do let you go, though, give me some kind of information, something where obviously people know who you are and everything else, but something that's new. Do you have a new website? Anything that people can look at? Can people go to Pirate Marketing? Is there a website that I can go look at right now?
Yeah, it's just pirate.com, PYRT. But while I still have it, Pirate Billy is the username. It might be changed soon, so that's the best place to find me.
That's the best, Billy. You have no idea how much I love that, dude. It's so good. All right, let's see. I'm gonna bring it up. I've never seen this website, so I'm totally excited to see your website right
No, that's just
now.
a
Okay.
landing page.
Ooh. That's all you're doing with it.
It's a
Well,
pure
I'm
marketing
gonna tell you
agency.
what I
So yeah,
need.
that's yeah.
I want to work. I want
I
to
don't
work
want to
with you,
know.
bro. All right, there you go, and submit. That's great, dude. Man, listen, I want to say from the bottom of my heart, man, thank you so much for hanging out with me today, even if it was just for a little bit. I absolutely adore you as a person, man. I really do. I love your continual push. And this is not me trying to blow smoke up your ass. Whatever happened, happened, as I said. And the fact that you're saying what you just said a minute ago, by the way, because I know there was one woman in Africa, or sorry, one woman who was on the island who had a shop and she lost like 40 or some odd $1,000 or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't know if she was involved in it. And if that's the one that you're helping out, then bless you, bro, like for even helping out, yeah, dude, I feel for you, Billy. I've tried to put on events, obviously nowhere near the size of yours, and it's not easy. Like I did an event here in Houston for 4 years where I was just a sidebar character, and it was a thing called Tune Out Cancer Fest where we would do 30 or 50 bands in 3 days.
Okay.
And 3 or 4 days, and it was just an absolute insanity. Like dang, dang, bam, bam, like 3 stages going at all times, and there's just nonstop, and it's just the scheduling and the getting the people and just that alone is just, So I can only imagine, what you went through and all of it, and especially what just happened. Here's a question for you: what the? It happened with the second location in Mexico, because it seemed you had it. I was watching the live feeds.
Mhm.
I saw everything was going great. It seemed as though you had an event location that could handle about 2,000 people, and then all of a sudden it goes.
This This might make some people very happy, but I got scammed. So whether ironic or not, it was yeah, it's a tough spot.
So you're no longer dealing with that marketing company?
With Mexico, no, for Fyre in Mexico, no, we're not.
No, there was the marketing company that you were working with. You're not working with them anymore.
I'm not sure what you're referring to.
I,
We were scammed. We were basically scammed by a location in Mexico. So not a marketing
oh
company. Yeah.
no, dude, that sucks. Yeah, because from what I understood, you had a production company that was
Hmm.
outside of your like company, or that you were here. You're the name
Yeah.
and the brand, and then they did all the work. I figured that company was the one that kind of screwed you.
I think
And
they tried their best. We were invited to a certain location by a local government in Mexico. They kind of gave us different beach clubs and hotel introductions and hospitality companies, etc. And they did a big announcement with us. And afterwards, the media pressure was so high
I
on the
knew it.
local
I
politicians
knew it.
that
I knew it.
4 days later, they're like, "We've never heard of those guys. What's Fyre?" And it's just like you couldn't make up the ridiculousness of that. So I think the event company, they're awesome. I truly think they did everything they could to make it happen, and they just told us like, we are so sorry, we've never seen anything like this before. We just
Yeah, no, I think that that's exactly what happened. As and somebody else who I before having this conversation with you, I talked to a bunch of people that was like, I'm, mind you, when I say a bunch, it's like 6 people that are close friends because I didn't want to tell too many people
Sure.
until I promoted it, like I told you. And that was one of the things that someone said to me. He goes, "Bro, I bet you everything was like super ready to go,
Mhm.
and what happened was the government of Mexico or whatever of that area was like, whoa, wait a second. If this thing doesn't go well and it becomes another Fyre Festival, that comes down on us, that comes down on our community, that comes down on all of these other, like nobody's going to want to come back to here because of this next." And
Yeah, I think
unfortunately,
the most fucked up part was that the government was the one who asked us to come in the first place. So it wasn't like they came in later and they're like, "Oh, this is too risky for us." Like they pitched us to come, and we did what we were told or what we were advised, and then they're like, "Oh, we've never heard of them." So it's kind of
so
like
that
this weird.
so then that's the next thing is so who in the world of the oligarchs, because this is where I'm taking it now, not to get weird, but who in the world of the oligarchs is so angry at you that they then was like, yo, you know what? He's doing it again. Oh, let's NBC, CBS. You went on live. You were totally cool. You were cute as a cucumber. No, I'm not trying to get weird, but
Yeah.
you were like really good, trying to be like, hey, no, it's cool with the thing and everything's great. We have the thing and the thing, and they just flushed. They did everything to flush
Yeah, I think
instead
it
of
was.
saying. I mean, it could have turned into a total story where it'd been like, "Hey, guy who failed is trying again. Let's see if he can do it." They could have totally pushed in a different direction, which means the dollars that were pushing that were pushing it towards forcing it to end, which means somebody else was pulling strings, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think there are just some bad actors in Mexico as well.
Okay.
And there was a festival, and we were scheduled to do it eventually in Playa del Carmen. And they were kind of like the last group to really pitch us hard to come.
Yeah.
There was a festival there a number of years ago called BPM Festival, and the 5 organizers were shot dead on stage at the festival. And like when we were really like when there started to be some press leaks of the government starting to kind of go back on their word and saying like, "Oh, we don't know them, like who are they?" And we started pushing a little bit and inquiring about like why they could be lying like that. We were going soft. We didn't want to throw anybody under the bus, and they were very quick to point towards the history. And our various partners were like, "Hey, our lives are in danger. Like we're gonna have to leave if you don't pull this." So
So
it,
here's crazy for you, Billy. Nowhere near your experience in any way, shape, or form, of course, but I had a company in
yeah,
Mexico, in Cancun, and it was called Experience Cancun, which is
okay,
this little thing here. And I too, this is so crazy. I had started a tour that I was putting together in a place called El Meco, which is in Cancun, and it's a brand new archaeological dig that they've just started like cleaning up.
Yeah.
And so I was the first one to the gate, and I was like, yo, dude, we need to turn this into this awesome, beautiful place where we bring small groups, charge not a lot of money, and people never have to leave Cancun. Because one of the big things about going to any one of the pyramids is you have to travel like 2.5, 3 hours just to get there, to get to Teotihuacan from Cancun or from Playa or from any other place. Super far away. And so this was like right like in Cancun. And then on top of that, there's like this beautiful event church. It's on the water, and these images and these videos, when you see these, it's just like so ridiculous that anybody who's anybody would want to go on this tour. And then from this area, I found this, which was this archaeological water hole. And I got in touch with the government, and I was totally like about to start like this thing. I was going to be making easy $1,000 a day. And bro, before I knew it, and I had got like the head of ecology of Quintana Roo. So like the main guy, the guy that
the state, yeah.
Right. And he's like, oh, I'm totally doing this with you and this, that, and the other. A month and a half into it, where I start like talking to transportation companies and all the stuff, I get a phone call, and they basically said, it's not going to happen. You need to stop, and you need to leave Quintana Roo. And I was like, well, that's fun having that business.
Yeah, it's different world. But yeah, ultimately,
Sinaloa wants to be involved in everything, dude, is all I got to say. Especially when the government gets involved in some way. It's because this little thing, it was an ecological park that had not been open for 20-something years. And the guy took me through it, and it was this amazingly beautiful, absolutely restored area in the center of the city, where it's like all trash everywhere. And they like one section of this ecological park had a fence, and it had gotten broken down. And so over time, people just started dumping in it, and it was dumping into the thing and pushing the animals back. And it's just crazy. And so this whole thing has been found that El Meco, that site that I was talking about, actually has tracks and like walkways that were made by the Indians, whatever years ago, and they all go to that ecological park.
Yeah.
And it's just so crazy, like, what can you do though? Like, I think that I've failed it so much in life, Billy. I failed it so much, dude, in so many different ways that I just don't even know what failure looks like anymore. It's just like another bump in the road. I'm like, it's all good, whatever, keep going,
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure you totally know. So listen, I want to tell you, Billy Mcfarland, you're a badass. No matter what anybody else says to you on the street or fucking this, that, or the other, bro, you're the kind of person that I look up to, in the sense of what I've said over and over and over again, the resiliency, the wanting to keep moving, wanting to do the right thing. I didn't mention this. I'm Jewish, and there's a thing called Chabad. I don't know if you've ever heard of Chabad. Have you heard of Chabad?
No, I don't know.
It's a group, Jewish organization. They're all over like 300 locations all over the world. But Chabad stands for a thing called Chachma, Bina, and Das. 3 Jewish words, right? But basically, it's intention, idea, and action. And you said something earlier, which is why this popped in. You said something about your intention, and in the end, it says intention is the choice.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter what thought we have, no matter what action we have after the true intention of our soul, anything else after that is irrelevant, because the true action of what happens here will never be correct. Like, we'll never make the right decision. We'll never say the right words. We'll never make the right moves, ever.
Interesting, yeah.
No matter what. We're all failed. We're all hurt beings, blah, blah, blah. You want to go the Christian route, whatever. I don't care. The point is that we're fallible and we make mistakes. So I thank you, for coming on. I thank you for being so righteously cool, dude. Like, you're a cool kid, dude. Like, and I thank you so much for hanging out with me today. And keep doing you, bro. Keep
Thank you,
doing
Paul. Yeah.
I know that
Thank
one
you.
day it's gonna. I know that one day it's already happened. But the I have all the feeling in my heart that the people that you are talking about, like your ex-girlfriend or your partners, or the people that are still in the office, or maybe even the people that are walking by a couple of times that you've talked and I've seen you look, that they know your true intention, and that's all that really matters. Everybody else's bullshit is bullshit. So
yeah, I couldn't agree more. Thank you so much, and thanks for having me. It's very
yeah,
true.
man.
Yeah.
Absolute blast, man. Thank you. If you want, do hey, you can find me here, and then I'll do a send out afterwards.
You could find me now at Pirate Billy until Paul makes you change my username. So thanks, Paul. Have a good day,
Love
everybody.
you, Billy. Thank you so much,
Yep.
brother. We'll see you soon, man.
Later.
Bye bye. Oh my God. What did I tell you? I told you it was going to be a good episode. You always ask me. Of course it's going to be a good episode. It's well, it's me. No, you know, listen, my friends, if you don't mind, please go out into the world, do something nice for somebody else. If you can't do something nice for yourself, it does start with you. Number 2, don't get caught up in all the crazy things in this world, because if you do, you end up crazy and angry and upset, and it doesn't help you or me or anybody. And number 3, if you would not mind, please like, share, subscribe, send this out to somebody who needs to see it. My friends, thank you very much for episode 72. I hope you had fun with me. This is Paul Carpenter, on the road, in the waves, on the other side, and I'll see you on the other side.